Okay, bravo everybody, a lot of engagement there. It's quite funny because I'm seeing you like a second after I'm hearing it, so I'm getting these gratuitous 5/4 bars there. I hope you enjoyed the mute trumpet. I always wanted to pretend to be Miles Davis in one of these sessions. Now what we're going to do is in the 1 bar, I'm going to play that track again in the 1 bar gaps. Is everybody okay on that? Did you all follow it? There's no test and there's not like a dictation, and I'm not testing anybody, but you're all great musicians. And actually, if you wanted to cheat, the notes are secretly given at the bottom of the sheet of Chromatic Porridge. But it's much better if you do all this by ear to start with. So this time, in the 1 bar gaps, you're going to hear the same Miles Davis fella. And in the 1 bar gaps, I want you to play anything you like, but just based on the first 3 notes. So your first 3 notes are going to be, obviously, F, A flat, B flat. I presume it's all right for our transposing instruments. If I'm referring to pitches, it's all going to be concert pitch. So first 3 notes, F, A flat, B flat, and it's dead easy, right? It's simple stuff. It's like almost the first week you played your instrument, except in a minor key. Just really play around with the intervals. And there's a reason. You could obviously play the whole octave thing, like instantly, but if you really concentrate on those 3 notes, you really get inside the intervals. And of course, you have that blues interval, the flat and third there. So it's F and A flat. You have the whole tone A flat to B flat, and the fourth B flat and F. And as you know, as you can imagine, there's an infinite number of possibilities to play around with that. So the hardest thing for players of your caliber is going to be restricting yourselves to 3 notes. So good luck with that. Right, I have to flick back to the beginning of this. Okay, here we go. 4 bar intro. And then you do the response thing, you just make it up on the first 3 notes, any octave. Good. You can make it as fast and as technical as you like. Okay, that's pretty good. You're all pretty good at dancing as well. That's really excellent here. We could do a show with like you're all doing jazz solos with choreography. That would be just terrific. We're going to move on now to, yeah, you guessed it. You're going to use four notes. So it's the first four notes of that scale that we built up, F, A flat, B flat, C. So you really can play around with this a lot now. If you just calculate all the intervals that are available there, set yourself up some patterns and that kind of thing. Now, I just enjoy this bit because this is like dead easy and you're all great players. And suddenly after this, it might all get a bit faster. So just enjoy, like messing around in boats, just mess around on those four notes. And just to repeat this, I do find that it's easy enough to tell players like you just to use all the available notes and in any octave. But sometimes you tend to get carried away. Not that you would, but one can tend to get carried away with that. Whereas if you discipline yourself to these intervals, you really start to hear stuff and hear possibilities, which of course will then grow exponentially when you get to the octave thing. Okay, so it's the lower four notes, F, A flat, B flat, C, and here we go, 4-bar intro. So you improvise in the, see, you're all improvising already. You're all geniuses. You improvise in the 1-bar rest thing. Okay, now you're all very patient and it really, yeah, there's a lot of engagement. You're all very well behaved. This is just terrific. I would like to ask, and a nil response is absolutely fine. If there are any volunteers who'd like to do a little blowing, which is a general term, even if you're scraping, blowing over that backing track, just using those four notes. If there's anybody who would like to do that, I should say that what the rest of us will hear is it'll be slightly out. So we just have to put up with that delay thing today. And also, I'll try and remember to say this at the end, but if anybody wants any of the backing tracks, of which there are several in this session, then I can, I guess, send them through to Jamie and they're all available. Do I have, Jamie, can you mastermind this? Are there any volunteers who'd like to give us the benefit of their improvising genius? And as I said, a nil response is fine. Look at this, look at this, look at this. Okay. Jamie, we're getting nil here. We're getting no volunteers, right?
How about Guru?
Ah, I knew the boss would press gang somebody into doing it. Ah, brilliant. We didn't even rehearse that, Jamie. That's really, really good.
That's very mean.
You're welcome.
Oh, what do you play?
I play trumpet. And the first time my teacher asked me to improvise, I started crying. So
I can do better.
I absolutely hate it.
Oh, well, good morning to you as well.
Good morning.
Okay, get that trumpet ready. You don't have to do the Miles mute thing. Or have you got a harmon mute with the stem out? Oh, you got practice mute. Okay, yeah.
I've got a practice mute. I can take it out, but
no, it's entirely up to you. Sorry, I'm just being stupid. It's just whatever you're comfortable with.
okay.
The Miles Davis sound, as you're probably aware, is a harmon mute with the stem out. But I'm sure you know that anyway. It's classic sound from the 50s when it sounded like somebody had actually glued the harmon mute into his trumpet without telling him. Okay, I'm going to play the track. What's your first name again? Sorry.
G or an F, but
no. Sorry, what's your first name?
Oh, Guru. Sorry, I said.
Oh, okay, Guru.
I said note.
Right. So you play anything you like in those gaps, right? And just restrict it to those four notes. And the fun thing about this is if you suddenly forget or any of those 4 notes, just pick one of those notes and hold it for 4 beats.
Okay.
Because I'm not going to tell the others this, but everybody will think that's so sophisticated, you know? So this is absolutely no fail jazz. All right. So you're going to get 4-bar intro, and we're all going to hear it's with a gap, but the scale works fine anyway. So thank you so much for volunteering. You're on 4-bar intro, and then the other trumpet guy comes in, and then okay, terrific. I think we see lots of rounds of applause there for the quality of the playing, and also the fact that off her own back, Guru volunteered, was volunteered to play. Right, I'm going to ask you to do it again without the mute. Could you do it again without mute? Because I feel that my nasty keyboard track is just drowning you out a wee bit. So just go for it, man. It's great. Nice style, nice phrasing.
Okay, I'll try to not play just into the microphone to
okay,
kill
cool,
everyone, but yeah.
Yeah, cool. Here we go, 4 bars intro. Okay, great. Massive round of applause. Hey, how did you feel with that then? Was that quite comfortable, Guru?
Wasn't too bad, no. It's a lot easier when you like get restricted into something.
Yeah,
and get to play like in between something, because then if you have no clue what you're doing, you can just copy or just change a note or
absolutely. Yeah. Oh, that's great. And you're not crying yet either, are you? So that's
no, I'm not.
Right. Do we have another volunteer for this? It's only 4 notes. Thank you very much, Guru. Thank you very much. Jamie, do you have one more volunteer before we move on?
I think Heidi has volunteered of her own volition this time.
Who's volunteered? Sorry.
Heidi.
Hi.
Heidi. Okay, Heidi. Right. Where's Heidi? What do you play, Heidi? Oh, cello. Ah, magic. Okay. Right. Are you ready? Same deal. Play 1 note if you like, or even don't play any notes. That's extra subtle. Here we go. 4-bar intro. round of applause there. Thank you very much indeed. Heidi, was that easy?
Yeah, not too bad.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think at Duro it was good. I liked having the restrictions and
Yeah. Don't worry, I'll soon get rid of those. Don't worry. But it's really good because it just builds up confidence. And I hope there's nothing to this jazz thing. It's all smoke and mirrors. It's just dead easy. Don't let anybody tell you it's difficult till you get onto all those nasty scales. Okay, terrific. That's lovely. And it's interesting, Jamie, isn't it, that with the beat extra, we're getting a kind of jazz through a Philip Glass prism or something, or Steve Reich or something. It's very, very interesting. Great. And the notes that we can't hear because of the sound system, we can imagine it because the way you guys are playing. Terrific. Okay, this time I want you to mute up again, everybody. And I'm going to play the same track, and you'll be really sick of this keyboard, obviously, but there'll be new tracks shortly. And this time, use the whole scale. Okay, so that's root flat 3, 4, 5, flat 7, and octave. So it's like an F minor thingy, right? A pentatonic. So it's just 1, 3, 4, 5, 7, and 8, where the 3 and the 7 are flat. However, because you're smarty people, I would normally do a routine to introduce this, but we're going to put a really dirty blue note in, which is concert pitch C flat. So that is your flat and fifth. So it's semitone between the 5 and the 4. So it goes, it's like a really dirty note. Mess around with that. Just mess around with it. Okay, and so this time you use the whole octave, and you can use the whole range of your instrument. So it's fun just to challenge yourself on maybe registers you don't spend a lot of time in. Okay, so you're going to play on that whole scale and add that flattened fifth if you like. And again, you respond to the mute trumpet. Here we go. Sequential pattern. It's going really fast. It's quite safe. Nobody can hear. Great. It's kind of hard to tell because everybody's on mute, but I'm just flicking along the gallery there, and everybody seems to be playing playing their hearts out. That's just terrific. It's really enjoyable, this jazz thing. After all these years doing it, I'm still enjoy it. Now, what I want is volunteer, please, to unmute, and you're going to do the thing. Use it what Heidi and Guru did before, except using the whole scale, or not, as the case may be, because you're improvising. It's entirely up to you. Jamie, can I ask you to MC this and either find a willing or unwilling volunteer?
Shagnik?
Hello.
Yeah. What's your first name? Sorry.
My name's Shagnik.
Shagni. Good morning, Shagni. How's the jazz thing going so far?
Morning. Yeah, great. I'm really enjoying it.
Yeah. Okay, man. You're in. So let's hear. Don't play more than a 9-octave range, but it's entirely up to you. Okay, 4-bar intro, and then let's hear you, man. Go. Yeah. Oh. Oh yeah. Yeah. Go. Oh, round of applause. Terrific job. Thank you very much. Wow, it's a kind of shame to stop you, really. Jamie, you've got a jazz band here. You're going to have to do jazz gigs. When we're doing gigs again, you can double your number of concerts. That's really, really good. Now, what to happen is just one more volunteer before we open out even further. Any volunteers, or are we relying on Jamie to administer brute force? What we got, Jamie?
Let's have Zoe.
Hello.
Oh, jazz bassoon, Zoe.
Yeah, I'll give it a go.
Fantastic. I've got a friend in Glasgow who's a very good jazz bassoonist. Do you know Vic Scott?
No, I don't. I feel I should.
Well, yeah, if you come across her in orchestras and stuff, she won't tell you, but she's a very good jazz bassoonist. Anyway, right. Are you finding this fairly straightforward and not too stressful? Or just a bit stressful?
Not stressful. Just I haven't really done improv before, but I'll give it a go.
Okay, cool. But you're all right so far. You're following.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. Right. So you're going to. I tell you what you're going to do, because the bassoon's such a fabulous instrument. I'm just going to set this going, but you don't need to play in between that annoying trumpet. The trumpet that plays the same thing all the time. Can't get him to stop doing that. You just play over the top of it. So you don't need to stop. All right. So you can do like longer phrases and stuff if you want, and then you can stop. Oh, so much freedom, man. Here we go. Keep going. Whoa, great job. Thank you very much, Zoe. Terrific job. I hope that wasn't. Yeah, it looked like you were having fun. That's great. Nice flowing lines. great sound, of course. Okay, we're now going to, so everybody's on mute. You're so well disciplined. It's fantastic. I'm going to get rid of that annoying trumpet player now. So you're just going to get the just the rhythm section backing. But I want you to do what Zoe's already done and play for longer. So play for 2 bars. And it was interesting that a couple of you, like Guru and Hadi, were saying it's nice to have the restrictions and that the gap to start with, which just gives you time to think. You can create your own gaps now, so you can like improvise for 2 bars, and then like your imaginary friend improvises for 2 bars, and then and then build up to 4 and 4, or whatever you like, or just play continuously. If you can put another bit of subtlety on that, just aim for, you know, a really strong narrative in your line. Okay, I just need to find the other track, and here we go. Yeah. So this is just run around, and it's 4-bar introduction. So you're all muted, but you're playing for as long as you like. And really remember what we did on those when I restricted it. Just really home in on those intervals, because I know you can play up and down that scale at 1,000,000 miles an hour, but you know, make it authentic phrasing. Here we go. Very good. Looking better what you can imagine when you can only see people. Great. Keep going. It's really long phrases now. You can do it. Pick a line for a walk. Okay, Jamie, these guys are really very, very good. I want, and this is the last time you'll hear that track, which will be driving you mad by now. I just want one more volunteer just to kind of do what Zoe did, but, you know, without the trumpet backing. So just to play a long solo, or with gaps, whatever you like. Jamie, could you point the fickle finger of fate at somebody, please?
Let's have Chloe. She didn't.
Okay.
I think Kina was volunteering.
Oh, Kina's
if anybody else saw that.
All right, we'll come back to you. Who's volunteering? Who have we got here?
I'm Kina.
Kina, hi Kina. Oh, Marcello. Quality stuff. Okay, you're going to get that track. And let's hear you strut your stuff. Featuring Kina. Thank you very much indeed. Huge round of applause there. Thank you very much, Keena. Was that fun? Did you enjoy that, doing that line thing? Yeah, great, lovely phrase.
Heidi made me do it.
Pardon? What did you say?
Heidi made me do it. She was
Oh.
messaging me the whole time.
Oh, such a drag, isn't it? And yeah, it was worth it, wasn't it, Keena? Yeah, that's so musical. That's just terrific. Great phrase. And it worked very well because even though there's a Steve Reich thing going on that was a beat out, the scale, they're obviously, it's a 12-bar blues. You can hear the chord changes in the backing. But the blues scale, which is what that is, works over all of those chords with different kinds of tension. That's why a lot of jazz educators use the blues scale to start with, because you can have interesting harmonies. So it's not like one chord for an hour and a half. And you can nonetheless be creative. Okay, you need your sheet of music for Chromatic Porridge, folks, please. So just have it's the same tempo. You'll be glad to hear it's a different rhythm section thingy. I'll just play you the intro and the first few bars so you get the groove, which you'll have got anyway because it was on the sound test. Here we go. Okay, good. Actually, I will play you the head all the way through. I just want you to notice, obviously you can't resist fingering that and playing that anyway, so that's fine. Just get those pushes, where the quaver anticipates the next phrase is tied over. And it's at the moment it's even quavers, so there's no swing yet, but obviously you know all about that. And listen to the way the trumpet phrases it. So just listen, 4-bar intro and just a 12-bar chorus. The tune is called the head, and each time through is called a chorus. So 4 bars and first chorus. Okay, all got that. And of course, through jazz laziness, I haven't put any slurs in there, which is why you've got to pick that up by ear. Incidentally, as we're playing through this chorus after chorus, the second ending, second time bar, only happens at the very, very end. So apart from that, it's always first time bar. For you jazz aficionados out there, has anybody spotted the chord sequence that I unashamedly stole in order to create this number? Anybody know what it is? Jazz history buffs. It's from Miles Davis' Kind of Blue album. It's a Freddie Freeloader. And it's great. It's a 12-bar blues sequence which follows all the rules until you get to the end, and the last 2 bars are a flat and leading note. So instead of going to the dominant, it goes a tone below the tonic, which is, it's pretty groovy. Check it out on that. What they say is if you only ever buy one jazz album, just download Miles Davis' Kind of Blue. And this steals the chord sequence from Freddie Freeloader. Okay, let's play it. You're going to hear 4-bar intro, then the head twice, and then 2 blank choruses. So the head cuts out, but the accompaniment carries on. With all those spacey sounds, and then you get 2 heads again at the end. So you're going to play the head twice and quite a long improvised solo, but put as many gaps in, or just listen, whatever you like, and then the head will come back again at the end. So this is our full performance, folks, of Chromatic Porridge. Okay, everybody, here we go. 4-bar intro. Thank you. Head again. Okay, then we go to chorus. Royal. Great, and all together. Hey. More chorus. Good. Love. Get ready for the head. The head comes in now. Twice. Last head. Great. Very, very good. Very, very good indeed. It's a shame I can't hear you all playing that, actually. I wrote it not long ago for my Dumfries young jazz students, and it's going to take them weeks to be able to play that, but because you're all sight reading it. Now, I wonder... Sure. Yeah, this will work. This will work. I wonder if I could get a volunteer to play over that. It may or may not work for the solos. Yeah, of course it will, yeah. We'll try it. Jamie, can I have one volunteer, please? And incidentally, before we do that, you notice the info at the bottom of the sheet. So it's got the blues scale written down. You've memorized it. It's tons better to memorize it. And also, there's a Tesco value, extra value blues scale, which has got that flat 5 in it. And then just a couple of wee licks. A lick is just a short jazz phrase, just to give you some idea of authentic jazz phrasing, but it seems you've already picked that up. And the very last one is the kind of sequential thing I was looking for. The doo-da-doo-ba-doo-ba-doo-ba. And you can, if you pursue that, it's doo-da-doo-ba-doo-ba-doo-ba-doo-ba. So you do like a descending sequential line, and the interest is they're quavers, but it's a 3-quaver phrase. So you get all that typical, well, any kind of music, but you get that cross rhythm going on. Okay, do we have a volunteer? Please, Jamie.
Let's have Andrew.
Andrew, what's Andrew play?
Hello.
Violin, yeah? Violin, viola, violin?
Violin, yes.
Violin, yeah. Okay, this will be very interesting, and I hope it'll work, but we'll see, because you're going to get the head and it might get in the way. So, yeah. So
Should I play along with the head for the first bit?
Sorry? Yeah. Actually, you can play along with it or ignore it. You can decorate it. Oh, yeah, all sorts of things. Yeah, even better, improve it. That's it. Great, because it's just a silly little head to make the young kids. It's a cheap way of getting them to learn the bit of chromatic fingering. So yeah, improve it, play around with it, harmonize it, all that stuff. Yeah, great. Here we go. You're on. Hey, it's fantastic. There's no stopping him. Have you done a lot of that before? Yeah.
No, I've not.
Wow. Give him an hour at this. It's going to be amazing. So yeah, jazz.
Thanks very
Straight
much.
into it. Very, very good. Very. Hey, Jamie, these guys are so musical. We're going to take a 15-minute break, and so we'll return at 12:05. Sorry, and then we're going to play. You'll need those sheets for the next two. There's and now a word from our sponsor and the Bakehouse of Fleet. And I'll answer any questions, etc. But I'm just going to keep throwing lots of stuff at you, basically. So, all right for a break there, Jamie? Great. Very well done, everybody. Thanks for joining in so actively and enthusiastically. 15 minutes. There's a limit to what we can do today, but we are now going to delve into the chord symbol stuff and its implications. So basically, this tune is 1-4-5-1, and that's it. It's got a swingy, like a reggae loping feel to it. So figure one is a harmonized head. Figure two is a sample bass line. So, you know, if I'm spreading it around the band when I'm rehearsing it live, we have a rhythm section playing around those changes, changes meaning the chord sequence. And then I just cue numbers for where we are. So as you can see, the variation on the head is figure one, and they can all try the bass line because it's actually good for the top line players, the treble clef people, to understand what's happening down at the bottom there in your cellos and bassoons. And alternative, more of a reggae bass line, is number three, where you're not playing on one. Number four is a harmony way through, where I get people to, and I'm going to get you to do this, pick a note in the first chord, then you have to move to the nearest note in the next chord, and the nearest note in the next chord. So it's live, it's a harmony exercise, it's live, practical harmony, so it's smooth voice movement. And then number five, I just tell you just improvise on the arpeggios, which for the sake of the kids, I've written them out there, but obviously you don't need those. And just the interesting thing on number six is we'll do improvising on the arpeggios and then on the scale, just the scale of the tonic B flat concert. And number six gives you a few examples deliberately mixed up, because sometimes, like in the original days of jazz education, you just get the scale written ascending form, and you know, people lock onto that with their eyes and you just end up playing upper scale. So this is kind of to make you delve inside the scale, and it's all kind of mixed up, and that's all about. You people don't need that, but that's just an explanation of what that is. We are gonna play the head. You're gonna play the head and number four. So I want you to play the head You can do the harmony if you like as well. And then just go, when you've had enough of that, just go straight into number 4. Ignore 2 and 3. It'll go down, there's a 4-bar intro, then each one is played twice, but you can ignore that. But I would like you to have a go at number 4, because that's going to become quite important for your sophisticated harmony, etc. Right. Here we go. That should work. Yeah. That's the head. Wing quietly. Go on, harmonise. Don't stop. Wait. Now, press number 4 and just find your way through. It's a long note, but it's harmony. Going on number 4. Where the track is all plays. Going in that one more time. Number 4. All right. Okay, good. And now we're going to play that with no head, and you're going to work on the arpeggios. And oh yeah, I was going to say, I think with all your instrumental parts, I've got them in workable octaves, so I apologise if there are any errors there. And if you don't like the octave it's in, obviously it's designed for players at a much lower level than you for learning this, so you can put it in any octave, obviously. Okay, now what we're going to do is, you're not going to hear the head at all, but you're going to improvise on the arpeggios. Now, normally, I do a big warm-up routine on this just to make sure people knew what the arpeggios are, which is obviously completely pointless with you people, so you're going to go straight into it. And also what I would do is, like, I do 4 bars on B flat, 4 bars on E flat, 4 bars on F, and then narrow it down to 2 bars on each, and then contract it to 1. But we're going to skip all that with you fabulous people, and we're just going to go straight in. So I want you to create some improvised lines, please, and you can have as much fun with this as you like, because this is the great advantage of Zoom over live sessions, is that nobody else can hear you. And actually, when you're playing jazz, that is crucial. You know, while you're developing confidence in your own playing, you think, oh well, I'll try that. Oh, I don't know, it might not be so good, so I don't want anybody else to hear it. Just try it and go for it. I find that broken chords are pretty good on this. I mean, just do the simple stuff like 1-3-5, 1-3-5 until you've got it. I know you know the arpeggios inside out, but the interesting thing is just placing them on those bars at exactly that time, and then get into the broken chord thing and start overlapping and looping and set yourself some challenges. And just remember, in jazz, there's no such thing as a wrong note or something like that. So this is, well, you get 4-bar introduction, then the accompaniment will just go round, so you'll hear no head or anything. So please just improvise on that 4 bars. The 4 bars don't change. Okay, very, very good. Now I'm just going to drop in a wee exercise that I enjoy doing. You're going to hear the same thing again. And I want you to play a semi-brief, 4-beat note on a sequence of semi-briefs. So each bar just has a 4-beat note, but it's got to like make sense. So if you're going to start with a D, again, all concert pitch, in the first bar, you might want to go to the E flat on the second bar, then the F on the second bar, the third bar, and the F on the fourth bar, etc. There's lots of different permutations, octaves, etc. And then after a couple of times through that, I'm going to say move to minims. And you're going to then play minims on the arpeggios, but they don't have to be, but make them different notes. So you like go B flat, D, E flat, G, F, C, B flat, D, etc. So it's 2 beats each. And then after a little while, I'm going to say, can you go to crotchets? So I want 4 different crotchets. So you have to produce the arpeggio notes on crotchets. So that's 1 per beat, dead easy for you people. But try and look ahead and think, where's this chord going? Where's that next chord? Can I land on a decent note? And yeah, don't forget, no such thing as wrong notes. So it's all good fun. You get 4-bar intro, or you can come straight in. So I'll shout over the audio how we're going to change it. So semi-briefs to start with, 1 semi-brief per bar. Next time, minims, please. Good. Okay, crotchets, go to crotchets. That's good. Logical line. We want to logical. Okay, we're going to go into quavers now. Sweet quavers, sweet quavers. All arpeggio now. Just in case you thought that was it, you're going to go semi-quavers. Go! Okay, cool. Very, very, very good. Sorry, we got trumpet and trombone. Sorry, trumpet Heidi. That's no Goro. Sorry, that's a bit nasty for trumpet. Semi-quavers on arpeggios. On the other hand, I'm sure you'll agree it's very, very good for you. Some of you were just having a wee bit of a rest in the middle of bars there. What I forgot to say was you got to keep it continuous. Again, I'm not marking this at all. It's actually fun. When players, you are allowed to breathe where you like. So we're going to go from the beginning of that, come in where you like. We're going to start with quavers. And then when I call semi-quavers, you're going to go for it. But try not to leave any gaps. Just make yourselves. It just deliberately puts you out of your comfort zone and just make yourselves find all those notes. Cascades of arpeggios. But loop them in and watch for the harmonic progression. Okay, we're going to start with quavers. Keep going on quavers. No rests. What you need to do. Really good. Next time, semi-quavers. Take no of this stuff. Just go for it. Fly around. Keep going, semi-quavers. Drive it. Any octave. Okay. Oh, Jamie, these guys are really, really very good. Can't beat watching bassoons playing semiquavers. It's one of the best sights in the world, isn't it, Sarah? It's one of the best sights. Yeah, yeah, of course it is. Think about those Mozart octets with all those flying, yeah, C minor, all those flying scales and arpeggios. Right, I need a volunteer, Jamie, please, willing or otherwise, who is going to just improvise on arpeggios over that. And this will sound pretty weird because it's a beat out, but let's call it deliberate suspensions or something like that. Who do you think we might have?
Sarah.
Yeah. Oh, great. Bassoon time. Yeah. All right. You happy about this, Sarah? That's a rhetorical question.
So I'm just improvising on the arpeggios.
Yes, that's right. Yeah. So you'll feed the track through to you, and we'll all hear you like a beat out or something like that. So so you can make the notes. You can stop where you like, and you're just creating phrases. So your improvising material is restricted to arpeggios. So play around with it. Have fun with it. Here we go. Sorry. My fault. Didn't put that at the beginning. Do apologise. Here we go. Keep going. It's great. Yeah, big round of applause for Sarah. Thank you so much, Sarah. That's excellent. I hope that wasn't too painful for you. Jamie, what I find is really interesting is that, the sound comes in and out on these kind of Zoom sessions, but your brain almost puts all the notes in that you're not hearing. When you read jumbled up words and you make sense of it because you recognize the word. It's kind of, I don't know, somebody will do some psychoacoustic PhD on that and we can all read it. I need another volunteer, please, Jamie.
Olivia.
Okay, oboe. Yes, let's have it. Jazz oboe. Right, same thing. Entirely up to you. Play around with arpeggios. Here we go. Keep going. Great job. Thank you very much indeed, Olivia. You guys are really so creative, Jamie. I think this time we're going to move on from arpeggios. And actually it becomes easier because you're just going to play on B flat major, the B flat major scale. So I'll set the backing going and it's basically the musical equivalent of taking a line for a walk. And so you're playing anything you like. Different notes have different tensions depending on what chord you're in. So, for example, if you're playing a B flat major on the E flat chord, those of you, well, you're all, you know what you're doing on modes, I think. So it gives you a Lydian, which is really nice, a sharpened 4. And then on the 5 chord and third bar F major, if you play on B flat major, it gives you an F7, a dominant. So it's all great working harmony. So just play around with that, and just think about patterns. So I don't know, you've all got your own individual study pattern. So if you think like a piano equivalent will be like Hanon exercises, our bassoon friends would probably be using Weissenborn or something like that. Sorry to remind you about Weissenborn. But scale patterns, you might want to go like do 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 do. So you can use more elaborate patterns. And what I found with jazz students is it's a good thing to do, because you set off and you realise that the jazz students, they haven't quite mastered that particular scale pattern. And I imagine in your case you have. So it makes them go off and practice the scales. And often, like a preformed pattern will lead to some quite exciting stuff in your improvisation. Okay, I'll stop talking. This time it's the same backing, folks, 4-bar intro or not, and you're gonna improvise on the B flat major scale. If you want, I'll keep playing. Classic long form narrative. Challenges make it really complex if you want. Okay, good. It's really interesting watching you all playing. Jamie, can I have a volunteer to do that, please? Yeah, just improvise on that scale.
Have Chloe.
Chloe. Oboe again. Another oboe. Great. Okay, you're on. And yeah, why not? Feel free if you want to put any chromatic interpolations in. If you get bored with the scale, although who could get bored with B flat major scale? You put some chromatics in if you like, but it's going to sound great on a major scale anyway. Okay, you get the 4-bar intro, or you can start playing when you like, and you're going to improvise away just on that major. So what I want you to spot is in a common chord progression like this, if it's 1 4 5 1, you can actually reduce it to just playing on the 1 scale. And that's important because when people come to jazz, this kind of improvising for the first time, I mean, we call it jazz, but it's all harmony, isn't it? And linear improvisation. One of the problems is that you think, oh, chord, I've got to relate to that chord. How can I possibly create something with a coherent line whilst I'm reading the chords as well, however simple they are? So this is a good way of identifying a chord progression that you can just relax and play on 1 scale. Right, enough rabbiting. Chloe, with the oboe, go. Great, keep going. Keep going. Okay, terrific. Thank you very much, Chloe. So easy to get volunteers when you want, isn't it, Jamie? Terrific. Thank you so much, and all of you volunteering. Right, we're going to play the head now. So we're going to play, probably not all of it, because it's too long, this tune with, the head will be available so you can play along with it. But actually, as we've identified, the chords are just the same all the way through. So you can go off on your long improvisation whenever you like, or come back to the head. And I'll not tell you what section's coming up, but you'll hear it and spot it. And what I suggest you do here is you vary it, maybe start off with a scale and then move to arpeggios, or start off with the arpeggios and move to the scale. And actually it's a really good exercise just for playing, you know, and for your technique and for your general harmonic awareness, which informs any kind of music you play, obviously. So again, like we had at the very beginning of the session, restricting ourselves to that 3 or 4 notes, think, right, I'm just on arpeggios now, or I'm just on scale, and then just let it rip and play what you want. So we're going to go from, just check I've got the right track. Yes, here we go. This is the track with head. So it's a 4-bar intro, folks, and then join in with the head, or just go straight on your improvisation. Here we go. Okay, good, 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 very good. It's amazing how much music you can get through Zoom. So thank you all for concentrating so hard and making it. I hope it is for you as well. So certainly a musical experience for me. Can you get the sheet out for a Bakehouse of Fleet, please? So again, this is a sheet which you don't, well, you can play from beginning to end, but each sections are in rehearsal, workshop sessions and performance. I'll just cue numbers. So just reading down it. And, oh, could you just spot the chord changes? It's concert pitch C minor 7, F7, B flat major for 2 bars. You'll all be familiar with this kind of sequence. It's terribly common in jazz, and you know, jazz students have spent a whole year working on this 2-5-1 sequence. It really is very important. Now you will notice the chord symbols. You've got a minor 7, and then you've got a 7. Now I'm sure you all know, because you'll have done this somewhere along the line, that when it just has a 7 on it, that's a flattened 7, so that's an E flat. Whereas if you want it to be a major 7, it's the next chord along, which is B flat major 7, so that's an A natural. So that's our chord sequence. The head is the first line, and harmonization, simple harmonization, the second line. And then we have, this is somewhere where I would go on to on more advanced session, more developed sessions. These are guide tones, which you may, of course, have come across before, but it's thirds and sevenths. So just note from a harmonic theoretical point of view, where in number 2, the seventh of the first chord leads to the third of the next chord leads to the seventh of the next, and underneath that, the E flat, the third of that stays as the seventh of the next one and drops to the third of the B flat. And if you play around with those, obviously, apart from the major 7, it's a very similar technique to technique that Bach used, just that whole third, seventh thing. And then there's a fuller, fatter chord thing at 3, where you can create a logical voice movement through that. Then there's just some patterns, and then there's more guide tones, and there's bass lines, etc., etc. So we don't need to do all of that. But what I'd like you to do is to play, there's a 4-bar intro, then I want you to play the head and the harmonized thing, and then the guide tone thing at number 2. Yeah, let's try that. Here we go. From the very beginning, this is Bakehouse Flea. Try and hear the chords as you're playing this. I don't think. Now, in the next one, number 3, just follow along. Pick a note and resort to the next music. This is number 4, which is like 7 phrases. Good. Now, oh, okay. Great. Good, good, good. Now, let's just have a look at those chords. And so I have a question, Jamie. Is it all right if I talk briefly for 1 minute on harmony?
Sure.
Is that going to be okay? Great. You all know how this works. And so it's a 2-5-1, C minor 7, F7, B flat, major 7. Now, what jazz musicians will improvise on is if you, yeah, here we go. All of you, you're all muted. Just play me a B flat major scale, 1 octave up and down, any speed you like, just to hear the color. B flat major. Great. Now, I'm sure along the way you've done some work on modes, even if it's like 16th century sacred vocal writing. We're going to look at the Dorian mode now, which is if you go from the note 2, the Dorian is mode 2. So if you go from C, but stay in B flat major, so that's going to give you a scale of C, but it's got E flat and B flat. Try it. It's very common in a lot of folk music. It's a lovely scale. C Dorian. Okay, great. I move on to the next bar, which is F7. Now, the mode for the dominant scale is called the, and I'm sorry if you know all this anyway, it's called the Mixolydian. And so it's a major with a flattened seventh. So you play F to F, but in B flat major. I told you to move a bit faster. So F to F in B flat major, just play me that scale. That's F Mixolydian. Go. Great. And then play me B flat major again. Just one octave. Just getting inside that scale. Now, at this point in a live session, I'd say, hey, do you recognize any similarities, any connection between those scales? And we're not going to do that because you're all smart and we're on Zoom. But basically, they're all the same notes. So C Dorian is the same as F Mixolydian, is the same as B flat major, which you all spotted anyway, but it's really interesting. So you can actually improvise on C Dorian for one bar, F Mixolydian for a bar, then B flat major or B flat Ionian for 2 bars, or you can just, it's basically all B flat major. So we're going to try that. You're going to improvise just all together, muted, on B flat major. But if you want, you can start messing around into those modes. And to be honest, if you play on C Dorian all the way, that's fine, and F Mixolydian. It kind of all works. It's pretty magical. Okay, so this is going to be, yeah, Baycastle Fleet without the head. Here we go. So just play over that, improvising, just again thinking of coherent phrases and some kind of narrative. Here we go. All yours. Keep going, everyone. It's looking really good. Very, very good. Okay, I'm going to put you right on the spot now. I'm going to ask you, and I won't hear it, so it's all cool. Just to try and do that, like Dorian, Mixolydian, and major, right? But it's all the same notes, but try and have a C minor feel, then an F7 feel, then a B flat, and you'll by now the harmonic periodicity of it is ingrained in your heads, and you'll be really annoyed later in the day because you'll hear these chords going around your head and you'll blame me, but I won't be there, so that's all right. You could send a complaint. Okay, Dorian, Mixolydian, major, without worrying too much. Here we go. That's really good. If you play pretty slowly, pretty fast, you get more of a sense of the harmony unless you mastered it and you're flying around. Okay, good, 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 good. This is really interesting. Now, can you look at section 2? And I said, you know, this is for a more developed section, but you guys are so fast, so I'm just going to go straight into this just for a couple of minutes. I want you to play either the top line or the lower line on those guide notes, the guide tones. So you'll either go B flat A, or E flat D. So you go 7-3-7 or 3-7-3, and just put any rhythm on you like. Don't bother with the semi-breeze. Just put a funky, groovy, a reggae rhythm on it, because we're going to take it a bit further out. So just make sure you've got it. And maybe if you do the top line and then the lower line. Okay, here we go. great. Good, good, good. Now, guide tones are really a crucial part of jazz education. This is pretty funky because I hadn't intended to go this far, so I hope nobody's scared off with this. This time, could you take that note of each, the note, the semi-brief in each bar, and just play around maybe a tone or maybe a third up above and below that, but make sure you resolve that note again onto the next bar. Oh my goodness, so much to think about. You can do it. Here we go. Eventually your fingers and ears will take you there. Keep going, keep going. Okay. Let's just going to go from the same backing, but this time you can use arpeggios. Obviously, I missed those out, but the minor seventh, dominant seventh, and the major seventh is a nice sound. Or you could use the scale of B flat major, or you can use those three scales, which is a lot to think about, but that's exactly what you just did, just incorporating those notes. And if you hang on the guide tones, that helps a great deal, and it gives you that quite intense harmonic logic. So we're just going to go around a couple of choruses on that. You're all improvising in whatever style you like. Okay, cool. Right, I'd like can we get that one beat delay? Jamie, can we have a volunteer to demonstrate their improvising prowess, please?
Let's have Yun Xiu.
Hi.
Hiya, hi Yuncio. Are you ready?
So I'm just improvising whatever I like.
Yeah, well, probably not B major, but B flat major, yeah.
Okay.
Although, that'll be interesting when you resolve it. Yeah, so you can use those modes that I hurriedly went through, or basically it's all B flat major. But the main thing is creating a strong melodic line. Let's try it.
Okay.
All yours. Keep going. Yeah. Okay. Terrific. Big round of applause for you and Joe. Fantastic. Thank you so much. Jamie, is anybody else that because we're going to finish fairly soon, that you would like to inflict volunteering on? I don't necessarily have to hear everybody, but...
Let's have Helen.
Okay, Helen.
Hello.
Hi, cello time. Okay. Here we go. Same instructions, all yours. Keep going, keep going. Yeah, love it. Okay, fantastic. Thank you very much, Helen. Huge round of applause. Great lines, man. Great, great stuff. Jamie, what a band you've got here. We're going to just play a little bit of the head of Bakehouse of Fleet, so you get all that tune stuff going on. But you can either play with it or ignore it and just do your own thing. So I've thrown quite a lot of stuff at you in a short space of time at the end here. So there's the 2-5-1 progression, which is always a minor 7. Well, you know. And a 7th, a 4th up, and then a major, a 4th up. But it really pervades so many jazz numbers that once you've identified a 2-5-1, this is the trick, then you can play on that major for that sequence. So you don't have to think, oh, chord change, chord change, chord change. You can think, oh, harmonic area. So something like Autumn Leaves, great jazz vehicle. It's just 2-5-1s, major and minor, very interesting, all the way through. And a tune like Ellington's Satin Doll. If you want something complicated, Clifford Brown's Joy Spring is just 2 5s, but it keeps changing key. So you have to really think hard. So I hope you appreciate this. It's kind of jazz and it is improvising, but it just gets you inside more harmony and perhaps, well, improvising is instant composing. So you're kind of getting more into that melodic creation thing and perhaps understanding more of what composers do. Okay, we're going to play Bakehouse of Fleet, and with the head, you get 4-bar intro, and well, you'll hear the trumpet coming in. Anyway, here we go. So just play over the top of it. With it. Don't forget those guide tones that figured. Here we go. Here's the head. Play over the top of it if you like, folks. The melody itself uses the backgrounds, really. Okay, good, good, good. You're all so active. That's brilliant. Now, if I can find the track again, could you just, we're just going to finish with going back to Chromatic Porridge. So just get your dots up for Chromatic Porridge. Now, you guys are so smart. I've got an awful lot done here. Now, I want you to, this time, you've got that blues scale thing, which reminder at the bottom there. But there are chords here. So, and they're all mixolydians. So it's F with a flattened 7th, B flat with a flattened 7th, F, then C, B flat, and E flat. So it's instant thinking. And there's no such thing as a wrong note, really. But just play around with this. Try, just to finish with, ignoring the blues scale, and then you're actually playing off the changes, the chord changes. I'm going to leave the head on this, but you can ignore the head and just play over that. So this is thank you for working so hard, folks. This is our grand climax. I've been all the way around from blues scale to looking at some aspects of jazz, tonal, functional harmony, and now we're going to come back to some more porridge. Here we go. So you can ignore the head if you like. Just these 4 bar intros. drop you right in it there. So just to sum up, we've done the blues scale, a couple of very simple heads. Thank you very much for your patience with the incredibly simple tunes. Just to remind you that, and then we went on to look at functional harmony and just explore some chords a little bit. I've thrown it at you quite quickly. I hope, yeah, of course you've got it. Just to remind you, if you want access to any of those backings, I can just send them through to Jamie. That's no trouble whatsoever. Does anybody have any questions before I disappear and lie down in a darkened room? No questions, Jamie. Oh yes, here we go. Yeah.
If we wanted to like learn more about how to play jazz and stuff, what would you recommend that we do?
Ooh, I will. It's kind of. Oh, you're in Australia, aren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Whereabouts?
Near Melbourne.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll check out some jazz teachers in Melbourne. You can't go and see anybody. I will send a list of suggestions to Jamie for follow-up material. And it's kind of hard taking it out of a book, so it's usually they're best with a play along, and it does like a graded sequence of things. But I hope you'll find that when you do that, you'll recognize some of the lingo, the jazz jargon from the session that we've just had. I will send that to Jamie. That's a very good question. Great.
Thank
so you. Want to do more? That's a bit scary. Any more questions? Jamie, do you have any questions?
There's a question from Andrew.
Yeah.
Yes. I was just wondering if you could recommend. So I know you recommended Autumn Leaves and Satin Doll and stuff. I was wondering if there were any other sort of standards that might be good for beginners to try and play along to if they can.
For beginners to try, you mean for you to study or for your students to study?
For me, you know,
okay.
just yeah.
Autumn Leaves and here's a great book. Here's a great book which kind of answers both of those questions. This is the Jamie Aebersold. I'll write it down. No, volume 54, not volume 70. Ignore what I said there. Volume 54, and it's called Maiden Voyage. And it's great, and it gives you music in C, in bass clef, in B flat, and E flat. French horns, I'm terribly sorry about that. But you can play in any key anyway. And that's got great tunes like Watermelon Man, Cantaloupe Island, and yeah, all sorts of stuff. That is a great one. So Helen, that is a good one to get hold of. And I'm sure you can hear samples online. And it's got a CD with it, but also these days downloadable. It's not a tutor book, it's tunes. But he's a wonderful jazz educator. He's really the most famous jazz educator, and he's produced so many. I think he's up to about 180 now, different volumes, which you don't have to play all of them, by the way. But volume 54, you'd think it's volume 1, but volume 54 is the way into that. So there you go. That's your tunes. You got lots of tunes from that. And when you get fed up with those, email me. I'll give you some more. Jamie, anything else?
A quick question from Olivia.
Yeah.
Hi, sorry. Is there anything you would, any material you would recommend for beginner, like students, like kids that want to teach them jazz?
Yes, you could kind of try the routine that I just did, but obviously you do it slower. So if I were teaching young kids, what we've done today would take about like a term and a half or something like that, as opposed to a morning. So you gradually let the blues scale unfold through. It's important that you have the call and response and the imitation stuff, and then actually the volume 54 has got really simple stuff in it. But if you want even simpler stuff, I will have a think and see if I can email Jamie with some info. It's a fun thing to do, and actually it's great for teaching because the kids love it and it makes them think. And also, if you're smart with it, what you do is you spend the whole lesson on oral, theory, harmony and scales without telling them. You know, it's very deep, very, very devious stuff. Does that answer your question?
Yes, that's perfect. Thank you.
Cool. Jamie?
I think we are done, unless anyone has any other questions. Nope. In which case, thanks, Richard, for coming along and taking us through that. And definitely look forward to when we ask for improv volunteers in the future, that we have a whole raft of plans coming up rather than...
All of them. Brilliant. Okay, thank you very much. Thanks, everybody. Lovely to meet you. See you again sometime, somewhere. Hope the gigs come flooding in, at least from next Easter. Cheers, everybody. Bye-bye. Thanks, Jamie.
Bye. Bye.